Hi everyone, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. We're here at the GTS Distribution Come and Play Day in Atlanta 2016. I'm here with Anthony from Ninja Division. Hi Anthony.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
And for bringing a game along with you.
I did bring a game along
What do you
with me.
have?
I have Codinca from Ninja Division and Backspindle Games.
Okay. Now what's the theme of this game? Is it a stretch to say there's a theme to it? Or?
There is a little bit of a theme to it. The theme's not necessarily important to how you're going to play the game, but I think it's really special.
Okay.
Codinca is a game where you're playing treasure hunters, and you're in an Incan temple, and you all reach a door. 2 to 4 players, by the way. So when I say you all,
yes.
We have a group of treasure hunters here. You reach a door, and to get to the other side of it, to get the treasure or the gold in the temple, you have to solve puzzles on this door. Okay. And that's what we're doing with the tiles that are present in Codinca.
Well, I like that. I like a little bit of theme. I like to know why I'm doing something. So
absolutely.
That's great. So maybe you could take us to the table here, and we'll do like a couple of turns, maybe, just to sort of show how the game works.
Absolutely, sure. All right, so fantastic. During a turn, you have 2 actions that you can take, a maximum of 2 actions, and there's 2 different types of actions that you can perform. One of them is switching the location of one of your tiles with an adjacent tile. The other type of action that you can perform is flipping one of the tiles from its stone side to its gold side, or vice versa.
Right, so there's a gold side on the other. Okay, I gotcha.
Absolutely. So what we're trying to do with our tiles is we're trying to solve 4 puzzles before your opponents do, using cards like these. So you might have a puzzle that looks like this that tells me that I need to have all 4 of my colored tiles in a diagonal line across the board with the stone side facing up. So using the 2 actions that I described, we are trying to, during our turn, get ourselves in a position to do that.
And while you're manipulating yours, potentially you're setting me up as well, right?
Because that's absolutely right.
Yeah. Which I'm hoping you're doing.
So one thing in addition to those 2 types of actions that I described that really makes the game interesting, we have these spirit cards. Now these spirit cards, you're dealt 3 of them at the start of the game, and they allow you to perform a bonus action at one point during your turn. Now once you use these, they're discarded.
All right.
So having only 3, it plays a big part in the strategy as far as when you want to use them and how you want to use them.
Sure.
You can use a spirit card in 3 different ways. 2 of the ways that you can use a spirit card are described right on the back side of the card. So this image that we see here is called a line push. What a line push does, I like to say it kind of does the Pac-Man effect. So a tile goes out one side of the board and goes into the other, and it pushes the whole line down.
Right.
And that's also usable diagonally, so that can really help you out to get things in position when you're in a kind of a squeeze there. So the other thing that you can do on this side of a card is a rotation, where you're using a 2x2 block of tiles and you're rotating it 90 or 180 degrees, however you see fit.
Right.
And that can help you quickly get your tiles turned to maybe help you solve one of the puzzles that you have in your hand.
So no matter which one you use, you can always do one of those 2 functions with it.
Absolutely.
And then it also has some other function on the other side.
It does have a very interesting function on the other side as well. The other side of this card is a trap. Now the trap cards are played however you want with the arrow facing the game space. Now if I were to play this in that position there, this tells me that I turn this entire row with the stone side facing up, the next row with the gold side facing up, the next with stone, the next with gold.
You set it to whatever this is fixed, and this pointing arrow just gives you the orientation.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay,
so obviously, if I were to play this over here,
right,
that's going to change how I set the board up.
Okay, I gotcha.
So that
can you play as many of these as you want on a turn, or is it one?
You can play 1 per turn.
Okay, okay, very cool. Well, do you think we should maybe try to take a couple turns here and see if we can accomplish some of our goals?
Sure, let's see what we can do with the cards we have in our hand.
Okay. Why don't you go first?
Okay, great. I'm okay with that. So let's see what I can do.
And maybe I should say, like, when you set up the game, there is a fixed starting point for these, right?
There absolutely is, and it's actually right on the inside of the game box. You can see how it's set up every time. So nobody has any more advantageous starting position than the other player. Everyone has the same starting position for their color of tiles.
So we've set things sort of a little bit forward, and I'm going to play as red, and you're going to be purple?
That's absolutely right.
All right, well, what do you want to do with your 2 actions?
All right, let's see what I will do. So for my first action, I will go ahead and perform a switch diagonally with these 2 tiles. And then I will perform a flip with this tile to get it stone side facing up.
Right.
And that allows me to solve that puzzle there.
Right, the one you showed us earlier.
Right.
Yes, the diagonal. Okay.
So.
And you're trying to complete 4 of them before I do. So I need to get cracking. I am going to...
And by the way, before you take your action, I want to let you know that You have a maximum of 2 actions that you can perform in a turn. At any time during your turn, if you choose to solve one of your puzzles, your turn then ends.
So if I use one action, solve a puzzle, the other action is lost. But hey, I've completed one of my
Absolutely.
turns, right? Okay, well, you know what? I think I am going to probably do that. I'm going to swap these two here diagonally. And now that I've got these together, I'll show everyone. I'm actually trying to get this completed, but I need to get them all white side up. So I'm going to use one of these powers that we talked about. And I'm going to use this one here. And that way, if I understand this correctly, I can flip all of these to their gold side, right? And then the other side over here, these 2 rows, I can flip. No, sorry. These should be on their white side.
Correct.
Yes, okay.
Let's go to the stone side.
That's definitely better, the stone side here, because that's going to allow me to say I've completed this.
That's it.
Right? So I can just, I pick my 4 here. That's because, again, you have to complete them with your own color, right?
Correct. And to stop in a 2-player game, this is especially important for us from going back and forth. You cannot undo the last action taken by your opponent right before you.
So if I had done a flip, you can't go in right afterwards and go, I'm going to unflip it again.
Right.
On you. I see. Okay.
So we won't run into a stalemate that way. We've both solved one of our puzzles.
Yeah.
So we're both on the board and doing great. Now it would move on to my turn after Rodney solved his puzzle. So I am now facing down a slightly more complicated puzzle that can be solved in a couple of different ways. So this puzzle is a little bit special for Codinca, and this one is the 4 corners puzzle. Now the thing with the 4 corners puzzle is that it can be solved in either a 3x3 block,
right,
or you can do it with the 4 corners of the entire grid.
I see. Okay, so this the space between here could be a larger size than maybe what you're seeing there. Okay, I got it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if I'm going to attempt...
How are you going to pull this off now?
If I'm going to attempt to solve this on my turn, what I'm going to do is turn in one of my spirit cards in order to perform the line push that I talked about earlier.
Yes, yes.
And this will allow me to use my bonus action at the start of my turn to go ahead and slide those over there.
Right.
And then I can use my first action to perform a switch there, and my second action to perform a flip there. And I've now solved that puzzle.
That's pretty good. I'm impressed. Because you off camera, you told me he was going to do it, and I'm like, I don't see how you're going to do that. And boom, you made it happen. Very good. Okay. You played this before, haven't you?
A little bit, yeah, just a
few
little
times.
bit.
Okay. Well, I think that gives a pretty good sense of it. So you go back and forth like this until someone has completed 4 of their puzzles, and then they are declared the winner. Right?
Correct, yeah.
And whoever lost then insists they play again and try to beat them, right?
Yep.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony, for giving us a great overview of how this game works. How long does it take typically to play the game?
You can usually get a game out in 10 to 15 minutes.
Sure.
However, one of my favorite parts about this game is it is really a thinking man's abstract puzzle game. So you can really sit down and really just think about how you want to go on with your turns, and it can turn into an afternoon of Codinca.
Sure,
so I really enjoy it.
And is this available already?
It is, yes.
Okay, excellent. So if it's something you're looking for, you can find it at your retail stores. Anthony, thanks again for taking the time to show us this game. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for playing with me.
Of course. And to the rest of you, until the next episode, thanks for watching.